Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Well, I've just been doing some traveling up in Sydney and doing some shooting with the R36 Max 2, and overnight Anbernic have released some brand new footage of the RG55G1. And I've got to say, it's got the community absolutely buzzing. Looking at some of the groups that are on some of the social media pages specifically for Anbernic, they are absolutely excited by this, and I think I am too. And just up front, I've already emailed Anbernic to see if I can get on that pre-release testers list to see if I can get a device early to do some impressions and do my first thoughts. And it would really help. Drop some comments for me. Let Anbernic know that you want me to test that device and give you my thoughts and feedback of any official release that might be coming up. And I'll make sure that I screen cap that and I'll send that to them and just try and get myself on that list. Now, just my thoughts on the 55G1. Look, it's come out with a full glass front, 2.5D, which we think means that it's just curved on the edge of the device. And, rather than being a sharp edge, sort of like what you might see on the Retroid Pocket 6. And the screen itself is 5.5 inches, so it's sitting right in that same size as like Magni devices and Retroid devices. And the styling of it, it's really reminiscent of what we've seen with the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, but then also Switch Lite, which is probably a really good comparison for it. It also comes with Hall Effect sticks with those fantastic removable caps, so that'll be really great for everybody too. And also Hall Effect triggers. And it looks like it's going to come with those really great dual injected ABXY buttons where they do a first injection and then they do a second injection to get the color in there, so that should never rub off, which is going to be great. And it looks like it's also going to feature that fantastic Anbernic D-pad that it'll have up top, which immediately begs the question as well, is this really going to be targeting more powerful systems, or is it going to be targeting more retro style systems, sort of that same power level as maybe what the RG476H has? It's also going to feature a headphone jack, which is still great, make sure that's there, USB-C port and TF card slot. And something that I think is a really great design choice as well is they've moved the select and start buttons up to the top of the device as well. So for all of us that know on previous Anbernic devices where they've had the select and start down on the bottom and it's made it really awkward to try and use select and start and hotkeys, that's going to solve that issue. So that's going to be really nice and comfortable. But the real mystery is around that meaning of G1. They've got their branding there. You can see just here in the photo of Generation 1. Well, ultimately, what is that going to mean? The speculation is that they are going to dive into a new generation of SoCs, and could that actually mean that Anbernic's about to release their first Snapdragon device, or is this something maybe like a updated version of the Helio G1 Ultimate or G100, so a newer version of that? My personal guess is it's going to be very targeted and designed to target that more budget Android handheld market that we've seen occupied really recently by the Magni Air X and the Ioneo Pocket Air Mini. But I don't think it's going to be a SoC that's got quite the power performance of the Retroid Pocket 5 with that Snapdragon 865. I think maybe it might be something that'll sit there in the middle, because I think there's been a lot of comments from the community that even though they absolutely love the power that they get from something like the Magni Air X, that they want something a little bit more powerful, but budget to performance ratio, so it might put it just below something like the Snapdragon 865 and the Retroid Pocket 5. And we've also just seen TrimUI come out with their first Snapdragon chip as well in the TrimUI Brick Hammer, and that's a G2 Gen 1, so could that be the G1 that they're talking about also? And the other thing that makes me think that it might be a less powerful device, and we have seen this as a design decision from Anbernic before, is making sure that they place that D-pad up top. And typically when companies will do that, it does target more of that retro style system rather than focusing on playing things like GameCube or PS2. But there is definitely a big chunk of the market. If you had a look at what happened with Retroid when they released the Retroid Pocket 6, they ended up having to do that split of stick top or D-pad top, and it was about 35% of the market still wanted that dedicated D-pad top, and as you can see on one of them. And the other thing that I found really interesting as well is Rust from Retro Gamecore has just recently released a video saying You know, these are all the different specifications of what his ideal perfect handheld would look like. And if you have a look at the list here, this actually ticks a lot of those different elements. From an aesthetic point of view, it absolutely covers off a lot of those different things. You'll see here all the different ones that I've ticked that he called out specifically that this device now has. And probably one of the ones, it's an absolute unknown to us right now is, yes, that sock that it'll have, but could Anbernic actually be about to enter that mid to premium tier handheld market and come swinging at the competition with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2? Only time is really going to tell, and knowing Anbernic, we can probably expect another announcement within about the next week, with another announcement about a week after that. Usually about that second week, it'll start doing more of that confirmation. We'll start getting a couple more little leaks about what it's actually going to contain. But if it does have one of those Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processors, I really suspect that Anbernic are going to be on to a real winner, and especially if they keep following that ethos that Anbernic has, that they want to be more budget friendly and more friendly to people who are entering the handheld market. Those are just some of my initial thoughts on what we might see. So, please drop me a comment at Anbernic, tell them that you want me to review this device in a pre-release state. Let's see if I can get myself one of those to do the review for all of you out there. And just a big thanks for liking the videos. Look, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and help me grow the channel. And until then, until the next time, play on.